why don't we hang out a little bit, play some games, and talk about the future of the game room? What's next? What kind of crazy plans do I have moving forward? All right, let's do it. Why don't we start over here with the virtual pinball machine? I'm going to take you guys on the journey with me. Okay, so this virtual pinball machine, guys, this is the most used item in my game room by far. I play this thing all the time. I love it. I picked this up many years ago from Rec Room Masters, which they went out of business for a little while, but they're back. Their website is live again, and they are fulfilling orders again. So if you guys are interested, I recommend. My experience with them was really good. I think they have new ownership, so I can't necessarily vouch for them now, but from what I see on the website, it looks like they're off to a good start, and I'm happy to see them back in this space of building cabinets. I think right now they're just doing arcade cabinets, and they're not doing pinball. And so yeah, this is the extension full-size arcade cabinet, and it's got the custom Jurassic Park artwork there that I designed, and it's got a Samsung 4K monitor for the playfield. It's got a really nice back glass monitor. It's got a full color DMD. I've got that nice Jurassic Park topper up there, and then of course you have all the buttons here, which is it's really nice and convenient. You know, you got your exit, your A, B, they're all labeled. You have your digital plunger there, and I love it. I play it all the time. It looks amazing. I'm using Pinball X for visual pinball. I mean, for the front end, and that's been great. I have 100 of my favorite tables that I curated. And as I said, I play it all the time. It's amazing. It looks great. It plays great. But guys, it's time for an upgrade to the virtual pinball machine. So I just got done doing this project over here, and we'll talk about that in a second. And I was like, you know what? It's been a while since I've done any updates here to the old virtual pinball machine. And next on the list of to-do is, in fact, doing upgrades here. Okay, so now the machine's going to stay the same. I love it. It's a great size. It looks good. No changes there. But I've been kind of keeping tracks on the virtual pinball scene for the last 3-4 years or whatever. And I don't know, I think we're spoiled for riches. If you follow virtual pinball, guys, the stuff that the community is doing in the virtual pinball world is really incredible. And there's been some advances in the last few years, not only to the way people set up these cabs, but also to the tables themselves. And although I like having a nice, tight, curated selection of 100 tables, I've decided I am going to add more tables to this machine, a lot more tables, in fact, because there are so many cool tables out there that you guys are building in the virtual pinball space, and I'm super impressed with, and I just want to play, frankly. So that's one change I'm going to make. I'm going to add more tables, but then I'm also going to go from visual pinball for my front end to pinup popper. So I'm changing front ends here, and I'm doing that because pinup popper has a lot of cool features the visual pinball doesn't, such as it has, like on the back glass here, you can have the option to have full motion video going on. So if you're playing, I don't know, Ghostbusters pinball, for example, you might have like scenes from the movie going, and it's all integrated into the gameplay along with the DMD there. So I think that's going to be super cool. And then there's going to be some other features too I'm going to add, like a jukebox and maybe even some vertical arcade games to take advantage of this vertical setup and this large 4K monitor. So it's going to be a nice update to the front end, but that's not all. One area that I don't really have any kind of experience with, but I want to, and I want to have on this table, is DOF, Direct Output Framework. And that's a little bit of software that interacts with the pinball software to create like haptic feedback and simulate a more real pinball experience. So I see a lot of people doing all kinds of stuff. So I think the most popular stuff I see are adding solenoids to the inside of the cabinet, so that every time like a flipper goes off or a drop target is hit or whatever, that solenoid fires, and you can feel it and you can hear it, and it simulates like a real ball moving around and hitting objects, and it makes it a more realistic experience. So I really like that idea. That sounds super cool. So I am actually going to add those to this cabinet. I bookmarked a listing on eBay of this guy that does these really nice kits. I think it's Cleveland Software, I believe. And they're kind of spendy, but he makes them himself. And I think the people in the pinball community have been raving about. From what I can see, that seems to be like the best option as far as like quality kits. So I'm gonna pick up one of those and I'm gonna go ahead and hook it up on it, install it underneath the cabinet. And now it's kind of tight in here. You guys don't usually get to see this, but I'm gonna take you under here. Okay, so it's kind of messy back here, but I got a lot of stuff. So I've got my subwoofer right here, and you can see it's a huge subwoofer that I have pointed down. So that takes up a lot of room in here, but it's worth it because the audio on this pinball machine is incredible. And that subwoofer is a big part of that. But I do have room on the sides of the pinball here and the sides of the machine over here. So I'm gonna wire solenoids all the way along the cabinet on both sides. And there'll be a little, like a board and a power supply that I'll have to mount somewhere as well. And then I've got my mini PC in here as well. Let's see if we can get it to focus. There we go. And it's a pretty beefy PC for the time. When I built it, it was top of the line, but it's, you know, dated now, but it's a 1080 Ti, it's a Ryzen processor, and it's all, you know, top-end components, at least as I said at the time, and it works like a champ, and it's perfect for a virtual pinball setup. And I think I'll probably wire the power supply down here. So that's about all the room I think I have for that kind of stuff in there. Other things that people are doing with the DOF, the direct output framework, is they're adding shaker motors, which I think is really cool, but that's not something that I'm gonna do. I don't really want things shaking around in there. I've got that PC in there, and I've got the subwoofer kind of precariously in there. So I don't really want this cabinet shaking a whole lot, so I'm not going to add a shaker. They add gear motors, so if you're playing, for example, what's a good example? Jurassic Park. Let's go over to Jurassic Park. Okay, so say you're playing Jurassic Park, and the T-Rex activates to go pick up your ball. You might hear that gear motor moving, and that's really cool. I like that, but I don't think I have room in there for that, so I'm not going to do that. An option that I am considering is they put light bars. A lot of people I've seen have cabinets that have light bars. So right in here, they would have a light bar, and I actually have the space for it, and I think it would look really cool there. I'm either going to add a light bar, or I might do like a less expensive option. I see these really cool sound reactive LED light bars on Amazon that I could literally just like use some like command strips to hook right there, and they would be sound reactive, and I think that would actually look really good. And there's one that I found that's just the right size to fit in there, so I actually might do that because that would save me good $100 and something, and I kind of like that idea. But so solenoids and that, and then I see people put beacons up here on the top as well quite a bit. I'm not going to be doing that. I don't think that's a little overkill. Sometimes less is more, in my opinion at least. And the beacons are super cool, and I'm glad that people enjoy this, but I don't think that's something that I'm personally going to add. So those are the changes that I'm going to make to the virtual pinball machine. More games, new front end, solenoids, and a light bar there. And I'm excited. I've toyed with the idea of, like, you know, typically on a pinball machine like this, there would be side art, the blades that go here, so you would have artwork. Now, that doesn't really work necessarily with a virtual pinball machine that has a bunch of different tables, because if I say put Jurassic Park blades in there with the artwork, well, then when I'm playing, you know, this one, Cartoons Roach Coach, it wouldn't really make sense. But I was like, well, what could I put in there that would look cool? And I've saw some pretty neat stuff. There's like silver mirrored vinyl that I thought, well, that would be kind of cool. And then I saw red mirrored vinyl that you could apply that has an adhesive back. I was like, that might be interesting. I even saw these glass mirrored mosaic like tiles. I was like, oh, that's some interesting things to think about there. I'm not necessarily going to do that, but it's a thought. So who knows what the future will bring in that department. But yeah, that's the virtual pinball machine. You know what? While we're up here, why don't we play a round of pinball? Because I kind of feel like doing that. I've been playing a little RoboCop lately. So why don't we play a round of RoboCop and then we'll move on. Alright, let's go to RoboCop. This is one of my favorite tables now. It probably helps that, I grew up in the 80s, and RoboCop is on my top 10 favorite movies of all time list. And this is a cool table by Data East. I really like it. It plays well. It's got some interesting rule sets to it. It's got a jump on the ramp that you'll see here in a second. And I'm not very good at it. I'm still practicing, but I'm getting there. Let's get some volume going. Let's crank this up. Okay, first ball. Here we go. So we got the ramp, the jump, we got the drop targets, and you got spell RoboCop over here to get the extra ball. The ball lock is right there. You capture the bad guys there. You got Boddicker, Dick Jones, and you got to capture them, basically put them in jail. And yeah, fun times. Here we go. There's the Ed 209 mode that's you get like 1,000,000 points for. There we go. We got our first R with extra ball. I'll buy that for $1. Okay. Let's try to make the ramp. Oh, almost. Okay, now the spinner is a good way to make points on this one. You're gonna really stack up the points pretty quick. Let's try to get that spinner. Oh. Oh, and the ball drain. Dang. You can tell that the sound is really great in this cabinet. You are under arrest. There we go. We got that spinner. Nope. Oh, that was close. Okay, let's get the spinner again. Nope. Maybe the RoboCop? There we go. Okay, now we got the R and the O. I like it. Okay, got the C, or the B, excuse me. Got the spinner. Go up the ramp. There we go, and we locked our first ball. Your move, creep. There we go, come on. Up. Get up there. There we go. Another ball lock. Now we might get the multi-ball. We're getting close. Move, creep. Oh no! Oh, we lucked out there. Wow, you see that? The ball drained, went back up, and hit the kick. That was super lucky. Nope. Oh, out of control, out of control. Nope. Come on. No! Oh, ball drain. Dang it. Okay. Last ball. Okay. Got the O. We need that extra ball. There we go. Ooh, that was close. Oh, okay. Get that spinner. Rack up those points. Oh no! Oh man. And that's RoboCop, guys. Can we get a match? No match. Hey, we got a high score. Alright. keyboard's not that amazing, but I'm just now practicing the table. COE.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you for your cooperation. All right. All right, and that's RoboCop. Now, moving over here, we have the mini arcade that I built a while ago. This was a DIY project on the channel, and I wanted to simulate kind of the tilt arcades that I used to go to back in the day. So I got the little tilt sign, I got the little change machine, and someone just asked me about that change machine, where I got it. It's from Replicade. I think it's, is it newwavetoys.com? Yeah, I think so. And they sell the Replicades. These arcade machines are the numbskull quarter arcades, and then that's a Replicade change machine. It's also a USB charger. There's like 4 USB ports on it, and I really like the way this came out. It's got the brick background there. I've got the Galaga machine, the Miss Pac-Man machine. I don't have any plans for this little nook here. That's pretty much I think that's more or less done. And yeah, and I've got the little arcade one-up bar stool, so I have more seating. This game room is divided into 3 sections. We got the game wall, which I just did a bunch of changes to. We got the arcade nook, and then over here we got the retro lounge with CRT television and Atari 2600 and all that stuff. And there's Miguel playing with his little stuffed animal. Okay, so the big project recently was this Aliens arcade cabinet, and I love this thing, guys. And oh, by the way, these bar stools, they came in. I was talking about these in a previous video, and they came in. I really like them. I think they go with the table perfect. Especially at nighttime with the green LEDs where you can really see them. It looks really cool, and they're comfortable too. They actually have a little back support, which is good. So I like that quite a bit. Are there any big changes that I want to make to this arcade cabinet? There actually are. There's 2 changes that I'm gonna make to this eventually. Now this is all in good time, guys. I'm in no hurry to do any of this. I love this cabinet. The screen, the front end, the control setup, everything about it I really like. There's 2 changes I want to make. I actually mentioned in the video where I was building this that I was happy with the audio, and for the most part I am, except it needs a little bass. It's just those 2 speakers right there, and those sound great, especially when you have it cranked up. But actually, I'm going to turn down this pinball machine a little bit. It's a little loud. There we go. So I'm going to add a subwoofer to this setup, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to go about this. Let's see, let me open this. I hope you guys like this long form video. I was just kind of hanging out up here, and I thought I would kind of take you along on my thought process and what I'm thinking about lately. And you know, it's no fancy editing or anything. I'm just going to be talking and hanging out in the game room and sharing some of my thoughts with you guys, because I've been working on this game room for the last 10 years, and a big part of that has been on this channel. I mean, I've been doing YouTube for, I don't know, 7-8 years. I always forget exactly how long, but it's been a long time. And this game room has been a big part of the channel for the entirety of my YouTube channel. And you guys have seen that, a lot of you have seen the changes over the years, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to kind of clue you guys into what's going on and what I'm thinking. So this is the setup for audio that I have. Now, maybe someone out there can help me with this, because I actually, although I'm pretty versed in hi-fi stuff and stereo things, I'm not quite sure what to do about this. So I've got this 180 watt amp, and I have the L and the R there, audio inputs, and I seem to recall, aren't there subwoofers that use those 2 inputs? I think there are, but is 180 watts going to be enough to run those 2 speakers and a subwoofer? And if so, can I use those 2 jacks, or is this just going to do I have to replace this amp with a more powerful amp? These are the kind of questions that I don't want to pull this whole thing out and hook up new speakers up here. I'd rather use the existing speakers, ideally the existing amp, and get a small sub to put down here in the cabinet, and ideally hook it up there. And I don't remember if that's possible or not, so maybe someone out there will know. I have a spot that I can plug it in, so it's fine. If it is a powered sub, that works. So maybe if it has the built-in amplifier on the sub where I'm not using the power from this amp, that might be an option. But yeah, so I do want a subwoofer in here. It needs a little bass. Um, it's lacking in that department. And really, the only other change that eventually I would like to do is something that I've wanted for a long time. I'm a big Aliens fan. I mean, obviously, I made this whole arcade cabinet around Aliens. I've got my signed Sigourney Weaver, 8x10 there. It's my favorite movie of all time is Aliens. And right now, the topper I have are a couple of my Kenner Aliens figures. I used to have these as a kid growing up. That was my favorite thing to collect were the Aliens toys. And a while back, I went ahead and bought all of them again to have them in my collection after all these years. And I put those up there as a topper, and I like it quite a bit. I have the Jurassic Park over there, and I have this, and it works. But I've always wanted a sideshow aliens statue. I was thinking, what would be really cool is I could put those back downstairs with my alien stuff and put like a beautiful high-end aliens sideshow statue up here. There's enough room up there for it. It'd be a real showpiece. I think it would look great up there. But they're very expensive, so I don't know if this will ever happen, or if it does, it'll be a while. And yeah, that's kind of the idea here. So I've been playing this quite a bit. I find myself gravitating towards some of the old school stuff more than just about anything. Now, I'm not going to make any changes to this setup. I really like it. This coin ops is great. It's perfect. I've been playing Centipede. And the reason I've been playing is because, boy, having a trackball, guys. Oh my gosh, it's so nice. So this is coin up. This is start. And then having this trackball, oh man. It makes the experience so much better. And these buttons are really nice. And I've been having a lot of fun. I can't play one-handed. But I've been having a lot of fun playing Centipede. It's a little washed out because of light. But yeah, these old school games are great. And Arkanoid I've been playing because I've got the spinner. So I've been playing a lot of Arkanoid, and then I've been playing Marble Madness. Any of the games that take advantage of the spinner or the trackball, I've been really enjoying quite a bit. So yeah, no, nothing major there. Just adding a sub, and maybe eventually a nice sideshow statue up there. Just minor changes, nothing huge, but overall, this is I'm really happy with this setup. Okay, guys, let's move over here to the Retro Lounge. And yeah, Miguel, he's in his happy spot. Miguel, that's a good spot for you, bud. Yeah, he's like, what are you doing, Dad? Who are you talking to and why? And so the idea behind the Retro Lounge is like, take me back to late 70s, early 80s. You got the Papasan chair, the shag rug. You got the board games. You got the CRT television. You got the Atari 2600, and one of my favorite things to collect, Atari 2600. I have lists, like, as far as collecting, there's a list that I have is like, okay, these are my priorities, and these are like the never sell, always keep and cherish, treasured items. And that's like the Sega Genesis, the NES, the Atari 2600, the Dreamcast, the PlayStation 1, the OG Xbox. These are the things that I love collecting for and will always be a part of the collection. And Atari 2600 is high on that list, guys. I really enjoy collecting Atari 2600. These games are fun. You don't need flashy graphics for good gameplay. You just need some solid core game mechanics, and that's all. And for the most part, this Retro Lounge is good. I would like to replace that Retron 3 and put something more proper old school there. I think the Retron 3 isn't quite cutting it for the kind of aesthetic that I want. I'm actually turning the pinball machine down a little more. It's still kind of loud. And I don't know what I'm going to put there, but I think the Retron 3 is going to go at some point. It doesn't work that well, to be honest. The power button doesn't stay down. I actually, here, a little inside baseball for you guys. I have a pinball, let's see, a spare pinball. Let's see if you can see it hiding right there. And that is hiding right there because I use it to hold down the power button on the Retron 3, because the Retron 3 power button doesn't hold down. And I've got the Sansui CRT that's great. The picture on it, like, it's still got a really good tube. That's a perfect little CRT television for this spot, so no problems there. I got to replace the light bulb on my lava lamp. It burned out a while ago, actually a few months ago, and I just keep forgetting when I'm at Walmart to pick up another bulb. So the only changes that I want to make over here I'm very minimal. This slot machine, I think eventually probably will be replaced. So I picked the Skill Stop slot machine up at it was a Craigslist buy many years ago. I forget exactly how much I paid for it. I think it was $50. It was cheap, and it works great. I actually like the way it looks, um, but I really would much prefer to have an authentic Las Vegas slot machine, something that actually dispenses quarters, something with a cool theme from back in the day. It's just a matter of finding the right machine. It's got to be a certain age, or else it's not legal to have. I think it's 20 years. I forget exactly how old the slot machine has to be, but it would have to be old enough where I can legally have it. And I'm in no hurry to replace this because, as I said, I like the way it looks. Actually, I have this sign that I added, and I think it works really well with this machine. So this is like, there's no hurry. But if I were to come across a really nice, authentic slot machine, I would replace it. I think that would be really cool to have here. And I've got the 3DO there. Guys, 3DO is kind of possibly on the chopping block. I picked that up in October of last year. And sometimes I go through, my collection and I think, okay, why do I have this? Because I don't just want to collect stuff to have stuff. I want to collect things that there's a reason behind it. Why do I collect this? I know why I collect Genesis. I know why I collect NES. I grew up with these systems. I love to play them even now. I play them all the time. I stream them on Twitch, and I love playing them on the CRT television downstairs. And I play them frequently. But then there's things like the 3DO, which I picked up in October, and it is cool. But do I have place in my home for 3DO collection? I honestly don't know. That box, I don't know where to put it. It's just kind of hiding there. I don't have the 3DO hooked up anywhere. It's just in that box. The games are inside these drawers here, so they're not on display. I don't really have room for it. And how often am I actually going to play 3DO? These are the kind of questions I ask myself. So I may sell the 3DO. I don't know. I'm still mulling over that. But so no major changes over here. Just basically a slot machine, and debating on whether or not I'm keeping the 3DO. And then Street Fighter poster, I moved over here. I think that actually works pretty well right there. And then the game wall. So the game wall got some major upgrades. I put the Power Glove in the middle, put those games on the wall. And I'm really, there's like, I can't think of anything over here that's going to change. Like, I think this is more or less the final form of the game wall. The only difference is going to be adding games. So I certainly want to pick up some heavy hitter NES games eventually. Basically, I want to do what I did with the Genesis. So over here on the Genesis, this is my favorite thing to collect for. I'm collecting all of them in chronological order. I'm reviewing all the games. I've been streaming all the games. I already have some of the big kind of marquee titles, and I put them on the wall here, Musha and Crusader Ascenti. I think it's a nice way to display them. I quite like it. I kind of want to do the same thing over here with the NES. Right now I have Kabuki Quantum Fighter and my RoboCop 3 there. And as I said, I love collecting NES. It was my first console. And I wouldn't mind getting some of the big boys in the NES collecting world off the list eventually, and putting them on the wall here. So maybe a little Samson possibly. I don't know. The price is pretty crazy, so we'll see. I know I can't afford it right now, that's for sure. But who knows what will happen in time. And yeah, that's kind of my thoughts there. And then eventually I'm going for that Genesis set. I'm going to go ahead and consolidate those, and they're going to be all up there along the wall. And yeah, I can grow my NES, I can grow my Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. I love collecting NES, I love collecting Super Nintendo. N64 is not like on the chopping block like 3DO potentially is, but it certainly is not something I have any nostalgia for. And frankly, guys, I'm not a big fan of N64. I know that's kind of a hot take. And if you guys love Nintendo 64, more power to you. I think that's great. But when's the last time I played Nintendo 64? Honestly, I don't remember. It's been a long time. And then down here, I got some games going on there. So I'm not changing anything up here. New carpet is going to happen eventually. This carpet is starting to really show its age. And it's about time to replace it. The problem with that is, well, one is it's really expensive. I know, because I just redid the hardwood floors in my house, and it cost me a fortune. And this carpet it's also going to cost a fortune. It needs to happen. But what I'm more concerned about is what a hassle it is going to be to move all this stuff so that they can install the new carpet. I honestly have no idea how I'm going to do it. So that I'm procrastinating on that big time. I don't know if like I can pay a little extra to have them move some of the stuff out of the way. I honestly don't know how that works. It's been a long time since I've had new carpet installed. And the last time I had new carpet, I didn't have all this stuff, and it was a much smaller house. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. But now, if I wasn't married, I didn't have, so if I could just have any carpet I wanted, I'd probably do like some awesome arcade style carpet up here. But yeah, that ain't gonna happen. I'm not even gonna like try to recommend that because, you know, yeah, that wouldn't go over well. That'd go over like a ton of bricks. So it's probably going to be a similar, maybe a little darker, like a gray or something. And yeah, guys, so that's kind of the thought process of the upstairs game room. And they're all in good time. There's no hurry on any of this. Right now, I'm trying to just enjoy it for what it is. And I've been doing that a lot since I've played a lot of arcade and a lot of pinball up here lately. And I look forward to having some friends over to play a little 3-player or 4-player. The 4th player is kind of cramped against the wall there. So it's some 3-player arcade action over here because I just finished this project. And that's going to be fun. And I hope you enjoyed this. It's a kind of a long video, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up now. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of free form, just hanging out in the upstairs game room, chatting about stuff. And that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'm posting new videos every Wednesday at 7 p.m. You can count on that. Follow me with my game collecting adventures over on Instagram. And there's a community Discord, the Dragon's Lair. We can hang out when I'm not posting videos on YouTube. I'm live streaming on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday. I'd love to see you over there for all retro games and original hardware, even a CRT television at COE33. Links in the description below. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, bye.